The morning the world changed forever began quietly, almost peacefully, as if Earth itself had no idea what was coming. People across the planet woke up to normal routines, unaware that thousands of eyes from deep space were already watching them. The sky looked calm, the air felt the same, and life moved as usual. No one could imagine that an invasion force of 9,900 alien warships was only moments away from appearing. General Mara Hale stood inside the Earth Defense Command Center, checking routine reports. She was known for her sharp thinking and calm nature, someone who did not panic even in the worst moments. But nothing in her long career had prepared her for what she was about to witness. She noticed unusual readings on the long-range scanners, massive energy spikes far beyond the moon's orbit. At first, she thought it was a glitch. Then the scanners shook. The alarms echoed through the command center. A young officer ran toward her, eyes wide. "General, this is not an error. Something very large is coming." Mara looked at the screens as thousands of red dots began multiplying across the radar. It looked impossible. No human fleet could be that big. No civilization Earth knew could field such numbers. She realized instantly this was not a visit, not a warning, not even a negotiation. This was war. Across the planet, governments tried to understand what they were facing. But the alien ships did not send messages. They did not announce their purpose. They simply appeared from hyperspace one after another, forming a massive wall across the sky. Their dark shapes blocked the sunlight in some regions. People stepped outside in confusion, staring up at the enormous shadows drifting above their cities. The world felt small under their presence. In the command center, Mara took a deep breath as the alien fleet stabilized its position around Earth. Every screen glowed with danger alerts. Officers spoke quickly, almost stumbling over their words. Satellites sent panic data back to Earth, but even the smartest systems could not explain why the fleet was so large or why it had arrived silently. "Open all defense networks," Mara ordered. "Put every country on alert. This is no drill." Her voice was steady, but inside she felt a knot tightening. She knew Earth's defenses were strong, but not strong enough for this. No human military had prepared for nearly 10,000 enemy ships. Across the oceans, submarines quietly armed their missiles. Air bases launched fighters into the sky. Civilian broadcasts were cut as emergency warnings spread. In every major city, people watched the alien ships, waiting for something to happen. The first attack came without warning. A bright beam shot down from one of the alien warships, cutting through the atmosphere like a spear of fire. It slammed into an empty section of the Pacific Ocean, creating a massive explosion that sent shockwaves around the world. It was not meant to destroy Earth. It was meant to send a message. The aliens were not here to talk. Mara watched the detonation on the screens and understood the truth. Humanity had only moments to defend itself before the real attack began. "Prepare counterstrike," she said, her voice firm. "We will not let them take Earth without a fight." But Earth's first response was weak. Missiles launched into the sky, rising with trails of smoke and flame. Fighter jets flew toward the fleet. Navy ships fired their long-range weapons. Yet when the missiles hit the alien shields, nothing happened. The impacts were swallowed, absorbed, and erased. It felt hopeless. The alien ships moved into attack formation. They spread out like a giant net surrounding Earth. Lights along their hulls began glowing, forming energy patterns no human technology could understand. Mara felt a chill run down her spine as she watched. "They're preparing for full assault," she whispered. Then the aliens struck, not at military bases, not at weapons sites, but at communication networks, satellites, power grids, anything that could help humans coordinate. Within minutes, countries were losing contact with each other. The world began to fall into darkness. Still, humanity did not break. Mara ordered the activation of Earth's secret defense system, a massive underground network created long ago but never used in real war. It included hidden bunkers, energy cannons, and shield generators placed beneath major cities. It wasn't perfect, but it was the best they had. "Even if we cannot win," she said, "we will make them fight for every inch." The alien fleet intensified its attack. Tremors shook the ground in different countries. People ran for safety. Some cried, some watched the sky in terror, others refused to believe this was real. In homes, in streets, in shelters, the same question passed through every mind. Why had the aliens come with 9,900 ships? Why such a huge force for one planet? Back in the command center, something unexpected happened. A new screen lit up with a strange signal, not from Earth, but from one of the alien ships. It was a transmission, not words, not sound. But an image. The officers gasped as they saw it. A tall alien figure, armored and emotionless, with cold eyes that seemed to look directly into them. The image lasted only 3 seconds, then vanished. But those 3 seconds were enough to understand one thing. The aliens saw humans as weak, as nothing, as a species to erase. Mara clenched her fists. "They think we will fall easily," she said. "Let us show them what humans can do." Earth's hidden cannons fired for the first time. Giant beams of focused energy shot upward, finally breaking through a few alien shields. 3 alien ships exploded in bright flashes, tearing apart into fragments. It was the first small victory, but it changed everything. The children hiding in shelters heard the news and felt hope. The soldiers preparing for battle felt their spirits lift. The pilots flying near the alien fleet felt new strength. The aliens realized something too. Humans were not easy prey. The invasion had begun, but so had humanity's fight. And while the alien fleet was enormous, something powerful was rising inside Earth's people. A shared fire, a desperate courage, a refusal to surrender. It was the beginning of a war no one expected, and it was only the first move. The world was still shaking from the first explosions when Earth's hidden cannons fired again. Their bright beams sliced through the sky like thin rays of hope piercing the darkness. 3 alien ships were gone, but the alien fleet hardly reacted. It was as if the loss meant nothing to them. Out of 9,900 ships, 3 were a drop in an endless ocean. General Mara Hale stood in the command center, watching the data scroll across the screens. Every officer around her moved quickly, updating maps, checking losses, and preparing counterattacks. But even with all their effort, the truth was clear. Earth was still completely surrounded. Mara knew the aliens were studying them, testing them, measuring their strength. And after humanity's small victory, the aliens decided to respond. The alien fleet shifted position. Thousands of ships moved in perfect formation, spreading out like a giant mechanical storm. Their engines glowed with cold blue light. Each ship seemed to communicate silently with the others, forming patterns that Earth systems could not decode. A young officer whispered, "They are preparing their second wave." Mara did not answer at first. She watched the movement, trying to understand their strategy. The aliens were not reckless. They were disciplined, organized, and confident. They believed humans were too weak to resist them for long. She felt her anger rise not because of the danger, but because of the arrogance. "Ready all shield generators," she finally said. "Focus on the largest cities and prepare the long-range cannons." Earth's defense systems hummed to life. Cities powered their underground shields, glowing faintly beneath the ground. Energy levels rose, pushing older technology to its limits. Pilots in air bases climbed into their jets. Soldiers loaded weapons. Engineers in bunkers worked frantically to repair damaged networks. Even civilians tried to help however they could. Some brought supplies to shelters. Others guided the elderly to safe places. The whole world moved with a strange unity. Everyone knew they were facing something bigger than anything in human history. Then the alien attack began. A massive energy wave spread across Earth's orbit. Thousands of alien ships fired at once. The sky lit up with blinding flashes. Shields around major cities absorbed as much as they could, but some buckled under the pressure. In several places, buildings shook and windows shattered. Sirens echoed everywhere. People ran to underground shelters as the ground trembled beneath their feet. Above them, battles raged like lightning storms. Mara watched the alien attack pattern. She noticed something strange. "They are not aiming to destroy us," she said slowly. "They are targeting our ability to fight, not our people." Earth's satellites, energy stations, and communication towers were hit again and again. The aliens wanted total control before launching a final strike. They wanted humans isolated and confused, but Mara refused to let that happen. She activated a hidden system deep underground, a massive server called Asterion. It was a backup network built for moments exactly like this, designed to reconnect the world even if Earth's main systems fell apart. Asterion began linking cities, armies, and governments. Despite the alien attacks, Earth's coordination improved. With the network running again, the counterattack began. From the coastlines, large energy cannons rose from secret bunkers. They locked onto alien ships and fired powerful beams. On the oceans, submarines launched torpedoes that split into dozens of smaller warheads. Fighter jets flew dangerously close to alien ships, firing heavy missiles at their weak spots. Some alien vessels finally cracked under the pressure. They fell from the sky, burning as they crashed into the ocean or remote deserts. Every time one fell, people cheered, even if they were afraid. They needed those victories. They needed to believe the aliens could be hurt. But the aliens adapted quickly. Their ships rotated shields, changed formations, and returned fire with deadly accuracy. A human air squadron was hit by a single alien beam. 8 jets vanished in a flash, leaving nothing behind. On the ground, a defense bunker in Europe took a direct hit, sending shockwaves through miles of soil. Earth was fighting hard, but the aliens were relentless. Inside the command center, Mara focused on the screen showing the alien command ship, a massive vessel at the center of the fleet. Dark, silent, and cold. No markings, no windows, just a black shape controlling the entire invasion. "If we take that ship down," Mara said to her team, "we might confuse their fleet. We need to disrupt their command structure." The officers agreed, but reaching it seemed almost impossible. The command ship was surrounded by hundreds of escort ships. It was too far, too well protected, and too high in orbit, yet Mara refused to give up. "Send message to the Orion Squadron," she said. The Orion Squadron was Earth's most elite fighter group, skilled pilots brave enough to attempt impossible missions. They were stationed in a hidden base in the mountains, awaiting orders. When they received Mara's message, they prepared for launch. Their leader, Captain Elias Ward, looked up at the sky before entering his jet. He knew the mission could kill him. But he also knew billions of lives depended on their first major strike. His jet lifted into the sky, followed by the rest of the squadron. They flew into the dark clouds and then into the open space beyond Earth's atmosphere. The alien fleet loomed ahead like a wall of metal giants. Elias breathed slowly. "Stay focused, stay low, do not engage unless necessary." The squadron weaved between debris, broken satellites, and burning fragments of destroyed alien ships. They moved silently, hoping the aliens would not detect them. For a moment, the space around them was quiet. Then one of the alien escort ships turned toward them. It had seen them. Before Elias could react, the escort ship fired a burst of energy. One jet exploded instantly. The squadron scattered, diving between alien ships and dodging beams of deadly light. "We've been spotted," Elias shouted. "Continue forward, do not fall back." The remaining pilots pushed ahead, heading straight toward the command ship. Their jets shook under the pressure. Alarms screamed inside their cockpits, but they kept going. Meanwhile, back on Earth, Mara watched their progress through Asterian's network. Her hands tightened at her sides. She knew this mission could fail. She knew the squadron could die before reaching the target. But she also knew humanity needed this chance. "If they can hit that ship," she whispered, "everything could change." The alien fleet closed in around the squadron. Laser beams streaked through the darkness. Elias dodged one, then another, pushing his jet harder than ever before. He could now see the alien command ship clearly. Its dark hull covered half the screen in front of him. It pulsed with cold, blue energy, as if alive. "Just a little closer," he muttered. If the squadron could fire even one direct hit, the mission would begin the first real hope of survival. Captain Elias Ward felt his jet shake as he pushed through the last line of alien ships. The blue glow of the enemy fleet surrounded him from every angle. His radar was filled with warnings, flashing red again and again. The command ship, massive and dark like a floating mountain, grew larger in his view. Its surface had no windows, no visible weapons, only shifting plates of alien metal that pulsed with cold energy. "Orion Squadron, stay tight," Elias said into his mic, though his own voice trembled. "We only need one clear shot." The remaining pilots answered with steady voices. They were afraid, but they would not turn back. They all knew Earth's future depended on reaching that ship. Behind them, alien escort ships closed in. Their engines glowed brighter as they prepared to fire. Elias banked his jet hard to the left, avoiding a deadly beam that shot past him and exploded into a burning trail. One of his pilots, Callan, tried to dodge a second beam but failed. His jet burst into flames without a sound. Another pilot screamed his name, but the radio cut out. Elias forced himself not to look back. He could not. If he hesitated for even a second, the entire mission would fail. Back on Earth, General Mara Hale watched the squadron's signal on the command screen. The lines representing each pilot blinked rapidly, some disappearing as ships were lost. Officers shouted updates around her, but she focused on one thing, the small blue icon moving closer to the alien command ship. Elias was still alive. Mara whispered under her breath, Come on, just a little more. The alien fleet seemed to sense the squadron's goal. More ships drifted toward them like predators circling prey. Defensive drones emerged from the command ship itself, sleek, fast, and silent. They moved in patterns too precise for any human machine. Elias fired a burst of missiles at the nearest drones. 2 drones exploded, but 5 weaved through the blasts and came straight for him. His jet shook violently as he twisted and rolled to escape. Sweat dripped down his forehead, but he did not slow. "Orion Squadron, push through, do not stop," he shouted, even though only 3 pilots remained. The command ship loomed before them. Its hull shifted, forming strange patterns as if the ship were alive and watching them. The pulsing lights grew brighter, almost like a warning. "Target lock," Elias yelled. "Fire everything." The pilots launched their full weapon load: missiles, plasma rounds, rail shots. Trails of light shot forward, heading straight for the command ship. For a moment, Elias believed they might actually succeed. Then a shield he had never seen before appeared. A massive wall of shimmering blue energy unfolded around the command ship. It absorbed the entire volley of human weapons as if swallowing dust. Every missile evaporated. Every shot vanished. Silence filled the radio. One of the pilots whispered, "Sir, nothing got through." Elias felt cold anger rise inside him, but he did not break. "We are not done," he said. "Form up again." Before they could move, an alien drone rammed into one of the jets, destroying it instantly. Only Elias and one other pilot, Nira, remained. Back on Earth, Mara clenched her fists. She could not speak. She felt every loss like a knife. In the sky above Earth, Elias turned his jet sharply and dove beneath the command ship. If weapons couldn't break the shield, maybe he could find a weak point in its structure. "Nira, follow me," he ordered. She obeyed without hesitation. They streaked under the enormous alien vessel, passing close enough to see the alien metal shifting like a living creature. Strange symbols glowed on the underside, forming shapes that Earth systems had never recorded before. Nira spoke softly, "Sir, this thing is not a machine." Elias understood. It's something more. A bright pulse of light suddenly glowed from the center of the alien ship. Elias' cockpit lit up as alarms screamed. "They're charging something," he shouted. A massive energy surge shot outward. It wasn't a weapon, it was a shockwave. It hit both jets instantly. Nira's jet spiraled out of control, flames trailing behind it. She tried to eject, but the shockwave disabled her systems. The jet exploded before Elias could say anything. "Nira!" he yelled, but she was gone. His own jet spun wildly as systems failed one after another. The shockwave burned through the controls, cut engine power, and filled his cockpit with sparks. The whole ship shook violently, and darkness began to blur his vision. He fought the controls desperately. "Come on, not yet, not yet." The jet finally stabilized for a moment, but it was drifting, powerless, directly toward the alien ship. Elias tried to steer, but nothing responded. His screens flickered, showing only static and broken symbols. He looked out the cockpit window at the glowing patterns beneath the alien ship. They were beautiful, in a strange and terrifying way. "General Hale," he whispered through a weak signal. "The command ship is alive. It's not technology like ours. It's something else." His transmission cut. His jet hit the shield surrounding the alien ship. A flash of light swallowed everything. On Earth, Mara watched as Elias' signal disappeared. Not faded, not lost behind interference, completely gone. The command center fell silent. No one spoke. Some officers lowered their heads. Others stared at the screens, refusing to believe it. Myra closed her eyes for a long moment. She felt the weight of the world pressing on her shoulders. They had lost their best squadron. They had learned nothing about how to defeat the command ship, and the alien fleet was preparing for its next attack. But even through her grief, she felt something else. Anger and determination. She opened her eyes, stronger than before. "We will not stop," she said quietly. "Elias didn't give his life for nothing. We will find a way." Outside the command center, the sky was still full of alien ships. Earth was wounded but not broken. Humanity had lost many brave souls, but their courage had sparked something powerful. A fire that refused to die. And as the alien fleet prepared to advance its attack, Earth's leaders and soldiers prepared for something different, something bold, dangerous, and desperate. A plan that would change everything. The hours after Captain Elias Ward's disappearance felt heavier than the darkest night. Across Earth, people mourned the brave pilots who had flown into space knowing they might never return. News broadcasts struggled to explain what had happened. Some called the alien command ship a monster. Others said it was a living machine. But no one knew for sure. Inside the Earth Defense Command Center, General Mara Hale stood alone for a moment, looking at the empty icon on the screen where Elia's signal had once been. She felt the loss deeply, not just as a commander, but as someone who understood the weight of sacrifice. But she did not have time to grieve. The aliens were recovering from the earlier skirmishes and tightening their formation. The sky above Earth shimmered with the glow of thousands of ships. Their shadows crossed oceans, mountains, and cities. The invasion fleet seemed endless. Mara gathered her officers. Every face looked tense, tired, but determined. "We cannot win by fighting ship by ship," Mara said. "We must strike at the heart of their invasion. Elias died trying to find a weakness. Now we must continue what he started." The officers nodded. No one questioned her leadership. A scientist stepped forward. Her name was Dr. Leora Benson, a quiet woman with sharp eyes and a deep knowledge of alien technology from old archaeological discoveries. She had spent years studying strange artifacts found on Earth, artifacts that seemed older than human civilization. "General," Leora said, "I believe the alien command ship is a biomechanical organism. Not just a machine, but a hybrid of life and technology." Mara raised an eyebrow. "Alive?" "Yes," Leora replied. "And if it is alive, then it has limits. Even strong creatures have weaknesses." A murmur spread through the room. For the first time, the idea of defeating the command ship felt possible. Mara leaned closer. "What do you propose?" Leora took a deep breath. "We need to disrupt its connection to the rest of the fleet. It is likely sending instructions through a kind of neural network. If we cut that network, the other ships may lose coordination." "That would give us a chance," Mara said. "But there's a problem," Leora continued. "To disrupt the network, we must send a special signal inside the ship, and no human machine can get close because of the shield." The room fell silent again. Mara asked the question everyone was thinking. "Then how do we get inside?" Leora hesitated before answering. "We may need something more powerful than our technology, something ancient." Everyone stared at her, confused. Leora opened a digital file and projected a hologram. It showed a glowing orb, covered with symbols that looked alien but also strangely familiar. "This was found in Antarctica 10 years ago," she said. "We never understood it fully. But its energy patterns match the same type found on the alien command ship. I believe it belongs to the same species." The officers leaned forward. "If this artifact is activated," Leora said, "it might allow us to disrupt their network. It could even weaken their shields." Mara studied the hologram. "Why didn't we use it before?" "Because we never had a reason to," Leora answered. "And because it requires someone to operate it manually. Someone with extremely high neural tolerance. Most humans cannot handle the energy." "So we need a volunteer," Mara said. Everyone understood the risk. Using the artifact might save Earth or kill whoever touched it. Meanwhile, outside the command center, people across the world tried to survive. Cities reinforced their defenses. Firefighters rescued civilians from damaged buildings. Families waited inside shelters, hoping each attack would not be the last. And far above them, the alien fleet prepared its next move. Small drones scattered across the skies, scanning Earth's defenses. Giant warships repositioned themselves. The command ship pulsed with new energy, as if preparing for something greater. Back underground, Myra and her officers brought the artifact into a secure chamber. It glowed softly as if reacting to the presence of humans. A soldier asked, "Who will operate it?" Before Myra could answer, a voice came from the doorway. "I will." Everyone turned. A young engineer stood there, Aiden Rourke, one of the brightest minds in Earth defense but not a soldier. He had helped create the backup network Asterion. He was calm, intelligent, and brave in a quiet way. Mara frowned. "Aiden, this could kill you." "I know," he said. "But I also know Elias died trying to give us a chance. If this artifact can do that, then someone has to try." Leora studied him for a moment. "Your neural tolerance is higher than most people. You might survive." "Might," Myra repeated softly. Aiden nodded. "That's enough for me." The room fell silent. No one argued. They needed him. Leora placed the artifact on a metal stand. It pulsed like a heartbeat. Aiden reached out slowly and touched it with both hands. The reaction was immediate. The artifact, the shuttle carrying Aiden Rourke, cut through the clouds like a silver arrow, rising into the sky with a deep hum. Inside, the young engineer sat strapped to his seat, holding the glowing artifact close to his chest. Its light pulsed gently, as if reacting to his heartbeat. He could feel energy moving through him, strange symbols, voices, and images filling his mind like distant echoes. The pilot, Commander Raylan Stone, glanced back at him. "You hanging in there?" Aiden nodded, though sweat formed on his forehead. "Yeah, just focus on flying, I'll manage." Raylan tightened his grip on the controls. He had flown dozens of missions, but never one like this. Outside the shuttle windows, Earth's curve appeared below them. The world looked peaceful from space, even though fear and chaos filled the surface. In the command center, General Mara Hale watched the shuttle's signal moving toward the alien fleet. Dr. Leora stood beside her, reading the artifact's synced data. "He won't survive if the artifact overloads," Leora whispered. Mara nodded. "I know, but without him, Earth won't survive either." As the shuttle approached the alien blockade, the first enemy ships reacted. Dark drones rose from their hulls like swarms of insects. Their glowing eyes locked onto the human shuttle. "Enemy contact," Raylan said calmly. "Hold tight." The drones fired, sending sharp beams of blue light in all directions. Raylan rolled the shuttle sharply, dodging the first wave. Sparks flew as a beam grazed the side, shaking the entire craft. Aiden gripped the artifact tightly. "I feel something. The drones are linked to the command ship. It's like they're extensions of its body." "Then we just need to outfly its arms," Raylan replied through clenched teeth. He pushed the shuttle hard. The engines roared. They soared between two alien ships, narrowly avoiding collision. Drones followed closely, firing with increasing speed. Back on Earth, Mara paced across the floor, barely blinking as she watched the live feed. Every second the shuttle survived felt like a small victory. Every near hit made her heart stop. Leora analyzed the alien flight pattern. "They're not trying to destroy the shuttle. They want to disable it and capture the occupant." Mara understood instantly. They know Aiden is key. In the shuttle, Aiden suddenly gasped. Raylan turned. "Aiden." "I can hear them," Aiden whispered. "The aliens, the command ship, it's speaking to the drones. It's telling them to capture me alive." Raylan cursed under his breath. "Not happening." The drones fired again. This time one beam hit the shuttle directly. The craft shook violently, alarms blaring, lights flickering. "Shields failing," Raylan shouted. The shuttle spun slightly before Raylan regained control. They were close now, so close that the massive alien command ship filled their entire view. It pulsed with dark energy, the same pattern that Aiden saw in his mind. "It's calling me," Aiden murmured. Raylan didn't like the sound of that. "Don't answer." Aiden closed his eyes, forcing himself to focus. "I can use the artifact now. The closer we get, the clearer the connection becomes." "Do it," Raylan said, "before we get shot down." Aiden lifted the artifact. It glowed brighter, bright enough to fill the shuttle with white-blue light. The energy flowed into him, burning through his chest and into his mind. He gritted his teeth but held on. Outside, something strange happened. The drones hesitated, their lights flickered, their formation broke. They drifted for a moment, confused. Raylan stared in disbelief. "What did you do?" "I sent a small pulse," Aiden said, breathing hard. "Just enough to distract them." But the effect lasted only seconds. The command ship responded with a burst of powerful energy. It shook the entire fleet and forced the drones back into perfect formation. Aiden groaned and pressed his hands to his head. "It's too strong, it sees me. It knows what I'm trying to do." Behind them, more alien ships approached. Raylan checked the radar. "We're running out of time. We need to get inside that shield." Aiden opened his eyes suddenly. "I know how." He pointed forward. "Fly straight toward the glowing ring at the center of the command ship. That's the entrance." Raylan stared. "You want me to fly into that thing?" "It's not a weapon," Aiden said. "It's a gateway. The ship uses it to absorb energy. If we time it right, we can slip in." Raylan hesitated for only a breath. "All right. Let's gamble." He pushed the throttle to maximum. The shuttle shot forward, dodging fire from all directions. Drones swarmed behind them, trying to intercept. The glowing ring ahead pulsed like a beating heart. "Now!" Aiden shouted. Raylan flew straight through the ring. A burst of light swallowed them. Alarms screamed. The shuttle twisted violently as if being pulled through a storm. The windows flashed with strange colors, blue, red, white, like the ship was traveling through layers of living energy. For a moment it felt like reality blurred. Then everything stopped. The shuttle drifted into a strange chamber inside the command ship. The walls pulsed with light, almost like veins. Alien symbols floated in the air like holograms. Strange energy crackled around them. Raylan stared. "We're inside, we actually made it." Aiden struggled to breathe, overwhelmed by the alien presence. "This place, it's alive, we're in its core." Drones appeared around them, but they did not attack. They hovered silently, watching. "It knows we're here," Aiden said. Outside the command ship, the entire alien fleet reacted. Thousands of ships turned slightly toward the flagship, as if waiting for instructions. In the command center, Mara saw the strange fleet movement. "Something is happening. Aiden must have reached the ship." Leora nodded. "This is our moment." Inside the alien core, Aiden stepped out of the shuttle with the artifact in his hands. Its light grew brighter and brighter. Raylan grabbed his arm. "Are you sure you can do this?" "No," Aiden said honestly, "but I have to try." He walked forward as the chamber lit up with alien symbols spinning around him. The energy felt like fire and ice at the same time. His mind filled with visions, alien worlds, strange creatures, ancient wars. He lifted the artifact. The entire ship reacted, trembling with energy. Aiden shouted through the pain, "Mara, everyone on Earth, I hope you're ready." The artifact exploded with light. The beginning of the final war had just begun. Inside the alien command ship, the chamber shook as bright white-blue light spread outward from the artifact in Aiden's hands. The energy was so strong it pushed the air around him like a storm. He fell to one knee, gripping the glowing sphere tightly. His body trembled, but he refused to let go. The alien symbols swirling in the air grew more violent, reacting to the artifact as if the ship were in pain. Commander Raylan shielded his eyes. "Aiden, stop if it's killing you." Aiden shook his head. "If I stop, Earth is finished. I need to break the network, just a little more." The chamber began glowing like a sun. The drones surrounding them started twitching, their lights flickering. Some collapsed to the floor, others spun out of control and crashed into the walls. On Earth, General Mara Hale watched the alien fleet suddenly ripple with strange movement. Every alien ship flickered like a dying star. Officers shouted updates, not knowing what was happening. Dr. Leora Benson stared at her readings. "It's the artifact. The signal is spreading through the entire fleet. Aiden is doing it." Mara leaned forward, her heart pounding. "Then we must strike now." Across Earth, hidden cannons recharged. Missile silos opened. Fighter jets prepared for launch. Every soldier, every pilot, every nation understood that this was the moment they had been waiting for. In space, thousands of alien ships drifted slightly out of formation, confused and unfocused. The neural network that held them together was breaking. Inside the command ship, Aiden screamed as energy tore through him. The artifact grew so bright it looked like a small star between his palms. The alien ship responded with a deep, vibrating hum. The walls pulsed like a beating heart, tightening the space around him. Alien symbols swarmed toward him like glowing insects. Aiden forced himself to stand. "This ends now." He lifted the artifact above his head. Raylan yelled, "Aiden, don't." A massive pulse burst from the artifact. It shot upward, downward, outward, through every wall, every corridor, every system inside the ship. The energy wave traveled through the alien neural network in an instant. It hit the entire fleet at once. Every alien ship froze, their engines shut down, their shields collapsed, their weapons dimmed. Earth's sky cleared for the first time since the invasion began. Mara watched in shock. "He did it, he really did it." Leora whispered, "The fleet is blind, they cannot communicate, they are no longer one mind." Earth's defense systems activated, missiles launched, cannons fired. Fighter jets soared upward like steel birds of vengeance. Tens of thousands of humans across the world cheered and cried out in hope as the counterattack began. Alien ships exploded one after another. Some burned like falling stars, crashing harmlessly into the oceans. Others shattered in space under heavy fire. Inside the command ship, the chamber shook violently. The alien organism was collapsing. Walls cracked open like broken shells. The glowing ring behind Aiden flickered. Raylan shouted, "Aiden, we need to get out of here now." Aiden looked down at the artifact. It had turned dark. The glow was fading. It had given everything. So had he. His legs wobbled. He collapsed forward and Raylan caught him. "Stay with me," Raylan shouted. Aiden opened his eyes weakly. "Raylan, tell Mara, tell Earth it's done." "Don't talk like you're done," Raylan snapped. "We're leaving." He lifted Aiden over his shoulder and dragged him toward the shuttle as the chamber crumbled around them. Above Earth, alien ships continued falling. The fleet that once looked unstoppable was now nothing more than drifting metal waiting to be destroyed. In the command center, Myra ordered one final global strike. All defense systems, fire. The sky lit up. The last active alien ships exploded in brilliant flashes that spread across the darkness like fireworks. The invasion fleet of 9,900 warships was gone. Humanity had won. But Mara knew they had paid a terrible price. She looked at the screen again. The command ship was breaking apart, drifting downward in pieces. But Aiden's signal, it was weak. Very weak, she whispered. Aiden, please make it home. Inside the dying alien ship, Raylan reached the shuttle and placed Aiden inside. He slammed the cockpit shut and jumped into the pilot's seat. The engines struggled at first, shaking hard, but then roared back to life. The shuttle blasted out of the alien ship just seconds before the entire structure collapsed into itself, forming a massive explosion of blue energy that lit up space. Raylan guided the shuttle downward, entering Earth's atmosphere. Fire streaked across the hull as they descended. Storm clouds parted, revealing the sunlight breaking through for the first time in days. Millions of people looked up as the shuttle came into view. In the command center, Mara felt her heart freeze and then melt. Open the landing bay, give them a clear route. The shuttle landed hard, skidding across the metal floor before coming to a stop. Medical teams rushed inside. Raylan stepped out, exhausted. He needs help now. Doctors surrounded Aiden, checking his pulse, scanning his vitals. His eyes were closed, his breathing shallow. Mara walked slowly toward him. Raylan said softly, he saved the world. Mara nodded, tears forming.